My path towards filmmaking started at quite a young age, although I'm not sure how aware of it I was at the time, or even when I started to become aware of it. I could of course share stories of my earliest work, where I was a young child running around with my family's VHS camera, but I like to think my later projects have improved quality-wise, so I'll start a little further down the line. As a preteen, I found interest in filmmaking, but always saw it as more of a hobby. While I loved movies like Indiana Jones and Star Wars at the time, I knew that I didn't have the means to create such projects, although there were times I tried. The types of movies I was interested in making were the ones I probably subconsciously knew were nerdy, so that on top of the fact I wasn't the most socially suave child to walk the face of the earth, I didn't really have actors either. This is what got me into the world of stop motion. While I don't find the videos to be particularly great looking back, I do strongly believe that my experience in stop motion helped open the gate into the world of filmmaking for me even more, as well as taught me some very important creative and life lessons, one of the key examples being patience. Even though the stop motions I created were somewhat choppy, they took an insane amount of patience to create even the shortest of videos, and I like to think those lessons have stuck with me throughout life thus far. Another key factor in helping me grow as a filmmaker was my decision to finally start posting these videos on YouTube, so hopefully people outside my family could watch and maybe even enjoy them, although I do appreciate my family as being some of the biggest fans throughout the years. These videos, however, were not really me at my most collaborative, and I saw that as a trait I needed to improve on. As I continued to dabble into the world of filmmaking, I was turned on to the idea of making sketch comedy shorts. Some of the YouTube channels and TV shows that I watched during that time certainly helped pique my interest, and so I pushed forth with the idea. I utilized some outside help with the videos, and because of that, I gained more experience with collaboration, and it resulted in some projects that helped me craft my skills and hone in on my style as a filmmaker. I was discovering that I really enjoyed working with people on projects, and so I wanted that passion of working with others to evolve, and I went on to create some longer, more structured pieces of work, starting out with trying my hand at a web series. The series at the time involved the biggest crew I had ever worked with, and it was a fairly ambitious idea. I was pretty happy with the end results too, and I was finding my communication skills as a director were beginning to flourish. I was discussing ideas openly, getting crew members to do what I needed them to do in a clear, concise way, and I was being a much stronger communicator. I finished my work on the series and went on to start a movie review show that eventually evolved into an ongoing series that I still do now. While they were definitely not quite the crew size of what it came off the heels of, the review show definitely forced me to carry myself with confidence and strengthen my speaking skills. It was most definitely around the time in high school, while making all these projects, that I fully realized I wanted to be a filmmaker as a career. And to help myself gain experience in cinematic filmmaking, I went on to make a short film with a group of friends in the fall of 2015. It was a crime short that was definitely heavily inspired by the work of Quentin Tarantino, and I had an absolute blast making it. The crew I worked with was wonderful, and it was a project that let me not only experiment with special effects and camera techniques, but also gave me much more experience working with actors, not to mention more time to work on my editing skills. The end product was something that me and my crew were very proud of, and it's a project I look back really fondly on. And lastly, the biggest step of my filmmaking career before college was devoting my last summer home towards shooting my 15-minute short horror film. Being a fan of the horror genre for so long, I wanted to create a story that was both effective in unnerving the audience, as well as having a distinct tone. It was a very small crew, but I like to think that fact wasn't absolutely clear in the final product. It was a slightly bigger budget in comparison to my prior short, and required me to do some heavy thinking logistically and creatively. The end result is a film that I still hold near and dear, and look upon as something I'm truly proud of. Not to mention, it's what helped get me into film school. Throughout my college career, I have created various films of differing genres, and I'm really starting to see not only what projects and roles I work best under, but also who I want to be as a filmmaker, and the types of stories I wish to tell.